Nintendo's gamers have good news on the horizon. Splatoon is coming back strong with a third installment in the series full of all the ink-splashing madness that fans have grown to love. But will Cloud save change the way the game is enjoyed offline? Let's take a closer look. First up, what makes the game special anyway? Splatoon is a Nintendo-developed and owned third-person shooter video game franchise founded by video game veteran Hisashi Nogami. The series is set in an alternate Earth populated by a strange species of anthropomorphic sea animals and stars fictional anthropomorphic cephalopod characters known as Inklings and Octolings, which are based on squid and octopuses, respectively, and can switch between humanoid and cephalopod forms at a moment's notice. A pretty weird world when you hear about it, sure, but this took some real creativity to craft the way Nogami has done. The creators in the game routinely fight each other in turf wars, employing a variety of weaponry that create and fire colored ink when a humanoid form, and swim and hide under surfaces covered in their own colored ink when they're back in their cephalopodic form. Next, the much-awaited feature with a catch. In many ways, Nintendo Switch's online functionality lags behind other similar subscription services in more ways than one, and even the most basic things it does provide come with limitations on several occasions. Subscribers, for example, have access to game cloud save backups. However, certain gamers do not offer this option. Splatoon 3, the upcoming shooter, will luckily enable cloud saves, but there's a pretty major catch behind this, which is bound to upset several fans. Only cloud saves for offline saved data will be supported. According to a brief disclaimer at the bottom of the gamer's eShop page, this implies the game's entire multiplayer component, which many would argue is the main draw of a Splatoon game, will not support cloud saves, keeping things fresh and familiar. Aside from cloud saves, fans are still wondering what the company can do to continue to shake things up for the franchise. Adding new weapons to a shooter game is one of the most effective and simple ways to change things up. So it makes sense for Nintendo to do so with Splatoon 3 in a bigger and better way than before, with the game's release only a few months away on September 9th, 2022. The weapons that will be included in the game remain a bit of a mystery since there's not much info out just yet. Splatoon 2's time in the spotlight seems to be soon drawing to a close, with the Octo expansion being the last DLC to be included in the Nintendo Switch Online Plus expansion pack. In preparation for Splatoon 3, Splatoon 2 shows how much of the weapons work, as well as how their subclasses affect these playstyles. All that we currently have to go on right now regarding the new classes is speculation and minimal gameplay footage, pretty much. A tweet from Nintendo clarified some of that mystery, letting fans know that all 9 basic weapons types from Splatoon and Splatoon 2 that were loved by fans will be returning in Splatoon 3. 2 completely new weapons kinds, the vacuum and stringer weapon types, have been added to the mix. These new weapon types raise the total number of confirmed weapon types in Splatoon 3 to 11. The shooter is the first and most basic form of a weapon. These are medium-range guns that fire quickly. Within this class, there is also a wide range of play styles. The basic Splatter Shot is a multi-purpose weapon with good range, fire rate, and damage. The Splatter Shot Junior is a smaller variant of the Splatter Shot with a higher rate of fire but less damage. Finally, there's the 96 Gal, which is a longer range and damage than the other shooter weapons on the list, but a considerably slower fire rate. For any new player seeking to climb the Splatoon ranked ladder, this section of weapons is an excellent place to start when release day rolls around. Official sources are keeping the hype train going. As fans continue to patiently wait and speculate on other information that is made public around the game, the official pages have finally taken note and are beginning to reveal information to keep the excitement and hype alive as well. On the official Japanese Splatoon Twitter account, you can find 3 brand new Splatoon pictures that have been revealed, displaying a little bit more of the game's single-player setting. The screenshots appear to be from several locations in the Return of the Mammalians campaign expansion, but they all have the same feeling of greater scale than in previous entries in the series. This can be seen with the large pieces of floating debris and ruined structures around the world. Splatoon 3's storyline appears to be more elaborate than the previous game's base single-player components, and more akin to Splatoon 2's Octo expansion add-on, which came after the game's initial release. This is a very welcome addition for fans of the franchise who appreciate a greater content offering in the base version of the game, which isn't that common for game developers exclusives in this day and age. The normal ink tanks carried on the backs of two of the Inklings seen have been replaced by water bottles, weirdly enough. It's still unclear whether this is merely some kind of accessory option or something more significant beyond that. The screenshots give about as much away as the tweet itself, which isn't much, but they all show an Inkling peering out over a complex post-apocalyptic setting. Each area contains a variety of floating platforms which appear to demand the little squid kids to be even more agile as they splat their way through each course with gymnastics prowess. Thankfully, we won't have to wait much longer than this to get a chance to test out these new courses ourselves. With the game's pre-orders now going live, it won't be long before old and new fans alike get a chance to paint the town red. Or blue or green? You can take your pick. Now in other news, Nintendo versus cheaters. Nintendo has filed a patent for new technology that will help discover cheaters in popular titles such as Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon 2. Nintendo looks to be working on its own unique remedies to the problem as other video game firms try to crack down on anti-cheat software solutions, along with other hacks that give gamers an unfair edge using off-the-shelf methods. Nintendo states in a new complaint with the US Patent and Trademark Office via news outlet Opatak that this kind of cheating is egregiously frequent with the gaming environment and is actively seen in multiplayer gaming lobbies. They claim that users, in particular, have the ability to modify certain softwares in such a way that they could get a massive advantage over other players on various systems in a multiplayer game. Nintendo's new technology would use certain code reuse approaches to produce what's called attestation programs that help to detect whether or not a game has been updated automatically. This new strategy, according to the filing of the patent, will make it much easier for the company to remotely check if a player is running a modified version of a game, as well as make it more difficult for players using hacked copies. In comparison to the PS4 and Xbox One, Switch hacking advanced fairly quickly, and it's now a problem Nintendo must deal with in a variety of online games, unfortunately. Fake Pokemon are occasionally introduced into Pokemon games by some players because of this problem too. Some Splatoon 2 players appear to have hacked opponents in order to climb the leaderboard without putting in the effort, whereas Microsoft and Sony's consoles have been historically closed down in terms of security. Jailbroken Switches have put Nintendo in a unique position where action had to be taken. Next, Nintendo Volleyball just gets it right. Nintendo Switch Sports has been out for nearly a month now, continuing Nintendo's 16-year history of making action simulation games with motion capture technology aimed at casual gamers looking to pass some time. For some, it's the ideal solution for those who waited patiently for a newer, shinier Wii Sports, but for others, it falls short of the game's former brilliance and nostalgic feeling. Many gamers voiced dissatisfaction with the lack of side content or other game types in the minigames. This reduces the replay value, especially when compared to prior editions such as Wii Sports Resort, which had twice as much content. Currently, Nintendo Switch Sports has 6 activities, with golfing set to be added as a free download in the future. Lastly, Apple did what? Apple isn't usually associated with video games, let's be fair here. Thousands of games are available in the App Store, and Apple's gaming subscription service Apple Arcade is becoming increasingly popular, however. Sony, Nintendo, and Microsoft, on the other hand, are more closely associated with gaming due to their consoles and gaming services, which we've all enjoyed at some point in our lives. Analysts, on the other hand, have reason to believe that Apple will make more money from gaming in 2021 than Microsoft and Nintendo both. Analysts at Newzoo anticipate that Apple's gaming income in 2021 will be close to a whopping $15.3 billion, according to a report by Apple Insider. This figure is higher than that of Microsoft and Nintendo, but still lower than that of Sony. That's a wrap for this video. How do you feel about cloud saves coming in for Splatoon 3 along with all of the other confirmed features? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.